What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Garage Gang Podcast. With me, as always, I got Joe. I'm Aaron. Kenny couldn't make it today. With us today, we have a very special guest. If you were at the Rebelution concert a few weeks back in Avila Beach, you would have seen this gentleman and his band play, and they absolutely killed it. Right after that, I hit him up and was like, "Man, I gotta have you on the podcast." It is Keznamdi, and welcome to the podcast, man. Thank you for joining us.
Great to be here, man. Thank you for taking this interview, bro.
Oh,
Honestly.
thank you
Yeah.
for accepting it, man. That was awesome. Right away you responded, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Definitely, bro. This is what music is about, connecting with different people and around the world.
Absolutely. So, obviously, I just said we went to Avila and we saw you play there, and I gotta say that you really, I want to say was it Irie, the one who was right before you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Irie, yeah.
She was great. Loved her energy. But you came on and you had this like a swag about you. And you told us, hey, I'm going to give you the energy that you give me. And I got to say that right there, like it pumped everyone up. It started getting everyone going. Like it kind of got us all like to relax and just kind of get going. You know what I mean? And I just love the energy. So I was like, man, I got to have you on here.
Yo, I appreciate it. And trust me, like Avila Beach, like it holds a special place in my heart right now, bro. Like that the energy what you guys gave me that day, I felt like I transcended out of my body, literally. How I feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, Aaron was telling me about it because I didn't get a chance to go, and it just seemed like one that there was a lot of people there, which was awesome. Because I'm glad that you're touring with Rebelution, so that was really cool. I bet to see that many people at a concert, But he was just telling me just the energy, and when he said that he got this interview, I was pretty stoked, man. I was stoked to get to talk to you and get to know you a little bit.
Definitely, man. For real, for real. Yeah, man.
All right. So we're going to start it off. You grew up in Jamaica, correct?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Jamaica. I left Jamaica when I was about 13 years old.
Okay.
And me and my entire family, we moved to Tanzania.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Tanzania in Eastern Africa. And we lived there for 3 years. And then after that, we moved to Ethiopia. And then we lived in Ethiopia for 3 years. And then when I graduated high school in Ethiopia, and then I got into a school called St. Mary's College of California.
Absolutely, man.
That's in Walnut Creek area there in Cali.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Gales, right?
The Gales.
The Gales, hell yeah.
You know what's up. So yeah, and then that's kind of was my first entry towards in the US actually. The first time coming to the US. So that was a little of my background, where we grew up and spent a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in all these different parts of the world? Like obviously you got all these different kinds of cultures. Being from Jamaica and then going to Africa, I can imagine that's two different worlds.
It was crazy, bro, because I remember when my mom came home and said that we're moving to Tanzania, I didn't even know what Tanzania was at that time. I was like, Tanzania? She said, we're moving to Africa. I said, Africa, like where the baboons and the giraffes are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you go to Africa, you get to realize, no, this is a very developed country and a developed place. And there's a lot of good in Africa, you know what I mean? So we went there, being exposed at a young age to so much different cultures and different foods and different kind of people and different kind of cities. I think it definitely did help to mature me as a young youth. Help to mature me and because you're so stimulated, you know what I mean? You're traveling so much and you're seeing so much different things, I think it really did focus me. And I had way more attachment than a regular average person. Like when you grow up in one city for the entire life, there's a lot more attachment,
Absolutely.
And, growing up where you have very little attachment around with all your friends is like it focuses you to your individual journey, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely I can definitely feel like you can hear that in my music as well. Like if you really listen to my music, you can hear the travels in my journey.
Absolutely. It's not your typical reggae. It's not your typical reggae. You have I don't know, just a different groove to it. And I definitely picked A fusion, absolutely. A fusion. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the language barrier like? I mean,
The first when we moved to Tanzania, it was Kiswahili.
okay.
And when I first went to Tanzania, we took classes right away, and I was really young, so I caught on to the language very quickly, like the street talk. Because when we're in Tanzania, any words that get you around the street, left, right, please, thank you, straight. You know what I mean? Where can I find this? How do you say it? Like all those terms where you need to do your thing. Right. But I forgot a lot of that now. But when moving to Ethiopia, it was way harder because there's just so much more languages in Ethiopia. You know what I mean? You have the Tigray language, you have the Oromo language, you have Amharic, you have Ge'ez, you have all these languages. So I felt it was a little bit harder to communicate in Ethiopia. And you have to think about it. Ethiopia's languages are ancient. We're talking about a country that was never colonized by any European power. So their history and their languages go way back, you know what I mean, to like ancient Kemet, literally, you know what I mean? So while Kiswahili, it's way more similar. It's like learning Spanish, you know, it's like the same kind, it's very similar, you know what I mean? So it was easier to learn, but Ethiopia, yeah.
I can only imagine how difficult that would be to grow up learning one thing, have to move, learn something else, and then when you move to the next place, it seemed like you had to learn 4 languages?
No. Well, I went to an English school out there.
Okay.
So, but all of my friends, you know what I mean, spoke English too, like at the English school, a lot of them. And then I had a lot of friends that didn't speak English too. You know what I mean? Good friends that were chilling every day and you can't speak, I can't speak Amharic, you know what I mean? But we are brethren, you know, we smoke weed all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You understand? Yeah.
That's definitely, that's pretty cool, man. It's like you said, to go back what you said earlier, like beings that you kind of moved around at an earlier age, when it was time for you to start branching out and doing that, I bet that was a lot easier to do than a normal person that's just kind of stayed in one place all their life. So that's awesome.
Definitely, bro. Traveling is the best classroom, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
So your parents were in a reggae band growing up, correct? And I don't, is it Chakula?
Chakula. So Chakula, funny enough, they've always been named Chakula, but Chakula is in Kiswahili, and it means food.
Really?
So it means spiritual food.
I love it,
you know what I mean? It's really spiritual food, you know, Chakula. But how ironic it is that many years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, we actually moved to the country where their name was the origin of their name. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
When I used to tell my friends that my parents' band's name is Chakula, they would laugh. They're like, food? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but it's spiritual food, you know?
That's cool.
So, obviously, growing up, did you just know right away that you wanted to do music? Was that kind of, your parents did it, you were around it all the time?
Definitely not. I wanted to play soccer. You know, actually, I came to St. Mary's to play soccer, football. You know, but I don't know. I was never like the raw talent of my family. Like the raw talent of my family is my older sister Kelisa. Like she has an amazing voice.
Okay,
you should check out. Her name is Kelisa. And she was the talent of the family, you know what I mean? And my parents were real top class musicians, you know what I mean? So like my dad didn't even support my music career earlier because there was no talent there. He's like, yo, bro, you have to learn how to sing. You have to do. So I used to do my little raps. I remember at a very young age, very like my first rap at like 5 years old, 6 years old. Like I remember those things, you know what I mean? And I remember like the pen and the writing was always for me because at that time I didn't know how to sing, you know?
So you learned you learned through writing it, kind of.
Yeah, and then when I actually picked up my guitar, that's when I actually started to learn how to sing. Like the guitar taught me really how to sing, and like, oh, there's a chord you can sing. There's 12 notes. I started to understand music now a little bit more, my ear. I think being around my parents, I always had a great ear,
Yeah.
like with all the music and just seeing rehearsals and just seeing how them conduct themselves and stuff was definitely a learning thing. But it was never music for me, I mean? It's like, I remember now, probably around 14 is when I really started to like really enjoy music and like do it on my own. 13,
Okay.
12, like I remember I used to take my mom's laptop because I didn't have a laptop at that time, and she had a headpiece,
The
headpiece
Bluetooth
that you
one?
talk on Messenger with and stuff like that. And I used to record my songs through Nuendo, this thing called Nuendo.
Uh-huh.
And I used to record on a little mic hours at night, on my mom's laptop. So
That's pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to learn. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I love music, but I have no talent at it, and I had no drive to try to create my own music or something like that.
Yeah.
I've tried to learn how to play the guitar a few times, but I think my fingers are just too big for it or something.
yeah, I've always been very passionate about music because I was never really that good. So like the fact that I'm making such like top tier music right now, it's like, I don't think you understand. I'm coming far away, bro. Like I'm talking about not even being able to sing on key.
Uh-huh.
So like looking back at my younger self, it's like, damn, I really love music for really go through the hardship and like not sounding good and nobody not liking anything that you do. You know what I mean? To like go through that dark tunnel, you kind of have to be like what you call like almost insane about music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, when reading about you, it makes it sound like you grew up with this musical family. You were this musical talent growing up. So I thought that's actually pretty awesome to hear
Yeah.
that you had to work at it. Because I mean, dude,
Yeah, man.
you are a kick-ass artist. So the fact that you have gotten to where you are and you started off, that's what was a testament to your drive.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was. I'm musically inclined too. I can play drums too. I was in drumline in high school too. So
Man,
oh, definitely got a love for music. Sorry,
that's
Dog's
crazy.
getting away. Dog's getting away.
Your dog around me.
Dog's getting away, man.
Oh gosh, funny. Can't let that dog get hit by no car.
Yeah, that's what. We're not on a busy street, so we're lucky.
Oh, man.
Just darted.
I'm sorry, my guy. He went running straight to the street. Get over it.
It's okay. Yeah, that's funny though that you say that because I was in the choir. I remember like being in the choir in high school. You know what I mean? And I had to choose an elective.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And the only thing that was there was the choir. I didn't really want to do the choir because I wasn't really like choir. Like, bro, I'm not into no choir thing. And then, but it was the best choice of all electives because I registered for my classes late.
Uh-huh.
And when I chose the choir, it was like I enjoyed it. I loved it so much. Like it was something that I went early to class. So I used to love going there. I was a tenor in my choir. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And obviously being of my background, it came very easy for me. You know what I mean? So it was that being in that choir really taught me like harmonies and like layers of music and tones and textures of your voice. And yeah, my choir teacher was really cool. I forgot his name, but he was really he really brought me to love music, like the real music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your first dream was to play soccer, and
Yeah.
and obviously you went and played. Is it Division I over there at St. Mary's for soccer?
Yeah, it's D1.
I mean, that's D1.
Yeah,
that's D1
that's solid.
soccer. That's as
I
good as it
didn't get
gets.
to play, bro. That's the craziest thing. Like I remember I spent all summer training and really working at it. You know what I mean? I was a good football player. You know what I mean? And my first game, bro, I tore my meniscus and my MCL.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? And since after that, and I at that time in my life, I already knew that I wanted to do music. I knew that, but I went through what everybody went through, the pressures of your parents. And
Yeah.
like, my parents are all about education. And it's just like, you don't know what you want to do. You know what I mean? So you're just like, all right, let me just go to college. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a pretty
But
cool. That's a pretty cool place to try to find yourself out.
Yeah.
true, very true. You know, but for me, like after the first year, I just knew that college wasn't for me, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But the cool thing is that I formulated my team out of college. So the same team that I have now is the same people that I met in college who saw my talent
Wow.
and believed in it with me and still along this journey. So we still give thanks for meet people, you know what I mean, and network, you know.
I mean,
Well,
it paid off.
Yeah, and you said like you love playing soccer, right? Like that was one of your, hobbies and aspirations. Like from that came your dream now, which is pretty awesome. Talk about going full circle.
Yeah, full circle, no pun intended with the ball. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Heck yeah.
So speaking of soccer, we are going to do a little segment. All right, and kind of get away from the music for a sec.
All right.
We want to know your favorite soccer moment in the history. Like, what is the one thing that is your number one?
It could be something that you've played, you've watched, you've seen, whatever your heart desires.
Well, I'll tell you both stories. I think I remember like first realizing who Ronaldinho was and how inspiring that was for me. Like Ronaldinho used to make me want to wake up in the morning because he was just a god of football. And I don't feel like any player has reached that peak that he has reached as a football player. You know what I mean? Like he's the greatest of all time. And I remember that as a youth, like being truly inspired by him. And then I can also remember, like, I'm a big fan of Arsenal.
Okay.
And I remember when they went 49 games straight, that was like 2 seasons straight without losing. You know?
Yeah.
Like they won everything. Like they was like a super team. And I remember like watching every game because it was just like, I couldn't wait to go back to school to talk shit to my friends. So, and then also I just remember like high school, like I had, I was really good in high school. Like I remember like going to Ethiopia and our team was not good, you know what I mean? And when we came to the team, like there was 2 other players in that same grade that came the same year that I came to, and we totally changed. Like nobody used to come to our games. And then like by the end of the season, we were winning everything. And like we went to the finals, like many years, like all them good years of football, bro. Like, like I learned what discipline and true working at working at something really means,
Absolutely.
Well, and I feel like, the high school championships, even to a lot of the pros and stuff, they say those ones meant more because they grew up with these people and they had to work. It was for their hometown, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And when you're growing with people and you're learning, it makes it that much more fun, especially when you're winning.
Especially when you're good at it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I remember like going to school on match day and it's just like everybody looking and treating you different because yeah.
Yeah, that was always the best. Absolutely.
Yeah. Game days during school. Oh yeah.
All right, Joe. I'm sure Joe's favorite soccer moment has something to do with Ronaldo.
So I'm Portuguese. Full disclosure. My favorite soccer player, obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. But my favorite soccer moment would have to be when they won the Euros in 2016.
And Manchester United is just like, like they give Arsenal fans heartaches because they always have that one little extra goal that just stabs Arsenal in the heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, but you see Cristiano Ronaldo is back at Man U now again.
Man U. Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't believe it.
Going full circle, man.
Yeah, right.
You have come right back to your roots.
That's
man.
crazy. But yeah, I remember watching the game. We were up north in Santa Cruz, and we were watching it on our phone. And I remember seeing Ronaldo, like he got hurt, and they helped him off the field. And I had a bad feeling in my stomach. I was just like, oh, this is not good. Oh man! And then they went to extra time, and Eder scored the goal, and here we are, 2016 European champions.
Yeah.
Is it?
Obviously, for me being a USA soccer fan, there's really not much to go off of. But I will say Oh, good.
The USA MLS league is like doing very good now. Like they're pulling numbers now. Like it's growing really rapidly.
Yeah, and we're getting some names to come over too. So that's the cool thing about it is that they're finally starting to take soccer seriously here in America, and I feel like I think you can really see that in our national team. They're competing at a higher level now. We got more guys playing in like the bigger leagues, not just the MLS. So. But my favorite's got to be I think it was against Algeria, USA versus Algeria in the World Cup, and Landon Donovan scored in like stoppage time with it was like the ricochet goal and he kicked it in, and the other guy we usually have here, we have another guy here that we do this podcast with. His name is Kenny, and he had to work today, but me and him were watching it, and we just jumped up and we're like, yeah, and we were just going crazy, and like obviously that was pretty much the height of USA soccer, but.
Yeah, Jamaica plays USA soon for the World Cup qualifiers.
Oh, really?
You guys will probably tie us since we're tying everybody right now. We can't seem to win a game.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, man. I just feel like I don't know. There's certain things in life that can bring a lot of people together. Music is one, and soccer's another.
Sports, just sports.
Yeah, sports in general. Yeah. But it's a really good feeling, man.
Yeah. All right, so we had a whole little deal where we were going to talk about your college life, but you pretty much made it seem like you didn't like college, and you met your buddies in college. So, I kind of want to know then, when was it after your knee injury where you kind of knew like, all right, music is definitely what I'm going to do?
I was by the time I was like junior year of high school, I was making a lot of music, I was working, like, because I still wasn't good, but I started to see growth, for a change, and like, I even remember a moment in high school where I made one song and all my older friends loved it, and I remember that moment, like that was the first time now people are actually asking me for my music. That was the first moment, that one song only, So I always knew that I wanted to do music. So I think, I was just trying to figure out how am I going to do this, and it just happened naturally. Like there was this little lounge at my campus that they used to do like once a month, and I remember we released a song, and my Temescan, who is currently on my management team, he's one of my good friends at college.
Is that T?
Yeah, that's T.
Hey, I want to give him a shout out real quick for helping me set all this up and all that. Thank you, T.
Definitely great T. So like T now, he was like a big party promoter, and so he took that record and started playing it at all the parties. So it started to become a little bit popular on the campus, and then and that's when we promoted our first show at the lounge, where they do this like open mic thing, and I brought like a big setup, like 2 musicians and this and that. And it was packed to like, when I mean packed. And I think that was one of the moments where I was just like, yo, I love this. Like, I love the feeling of this. I love how much people like love the music. Like, it was just a great moment for me.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about like a classroom that no more than like 50, like 40 people, 50 people. You know what I mean? Like,
but it doesn't matter though. When you're not, when you're not like a big person yet, 40, 50 people sitting there vibing to your music is a big deal.
Yeah,
exactly. And I remember I remember we were tripping before the show because we're just not understanding how come. But I remember we did a lot of groundwork. We promoted hard. We went in the cafeteria, handing out posters, like we're telling all of our people to come through. You know what I mean? We went hard. So yeah.
Hey, so I gotta ask. You had started kind of talking about it at the concert, and kind of what it was like to be a Rasta. I believe you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I just thought Rasta was just a type of music. I'm not gonna lie, my guy. And when you started kind of talking about, I guess the purpose of it and stuff, can you just explain it? Is it a simple explanation or?
I'll try my best. It's a big topic, but Rastafari is our culture from Jamaica. you know. And Rastafari was born in the time when black people needed to be liberated because we were colonized and we were under colony. We were a British colony.
Okay.
So there were a lot of people that were rebellious against the system, you know what I mean? And then Rastafari means Ras means prince, and Tafari is a man from Ethiopia called Haile Selassie I the First. So before he was given the name Haile Selassie, he was named Rastafari. He was just a prince, you know what I mean? So that's where the name actual Rastafari comes from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So at that time, you know, Jamaicans and black people in the West were looking at the East that, yo, we are still kings and queens too. We're not just slaves.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like here's a king, you know what I mean? And what he represented, like, you know, like we Rasta people have Haile Selassie to the highest you can have it as, like Rastafari people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then there's a cultural aspect to it as well. The cultural aspect is the stuff that is probably very commercial now, like, you know, reggae music is something that was born from Rastafari. Smoking herb, the spiritual holy sacrament is also very, eating very good. Like Rastas were the first people in the West to talk about eating healthy, and now it's a big famous thing. Everybody's vegan and everything, you know. So like Rasta people were very progressive people, you know, and you know, basically, but because we were so rebellious in the 60s and rebellious against the thing, like politicians and the government and the British portrayed Rasta people as filthy because we didn't comb our hair. You know what I mean? We believe in living natural, self-sufficient. Everything that we eat come from the ground.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we were almost viewed as crazy people. You know what I mean? Like backward people. You know what I mean? And that's in Jamaica. You know, a lot of people, when they look at Jamaican or they hear the word Jamaica, they just think, oh, Rasta people smoking weed on a beach. You know what I mean? But it's like totally the opposite. You know, where it's a big fight. And currently, right now, there's a big moment in Jamaica happening right now for the discrimination against Rastafari people because they took in a Rasta girl and in custody. And they cut her dreadlocks, and she's only 19 years old.
Wow!
And they cut her dreadlocks, but it's so there's a big investigation going on right now, and there's a big petition, and that was what I was mentioning to on the show. And we also dropped a film recently called Justice, and Justice is talks about the Coral Garden massacre. Okay. So this is a massacre that nobody really knows about. It's a 6-minute film feature, and it's basically a massacre that happened in 1963 in Jamaica when the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Bustamante, issued. It's alleged that he issued to bring in all Rastas dead or alive, basically, and they went into many Rastafarians encampments that were like on the outskirts of the cities, and burned down their ganja fields and locked up a lot of Rastafarians, cut their hair. It was terrible. Killed a lot of them as well. 3,000 families were displaced. You know what I mean? And there's no reparation or rent or nothing really going in to repair that.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
So this moment is and it's a lot bigger than just being a Rasta. It's because of what Rastafari represent. It represents being your true self. It's a big threat to society when you're your true self.
Absolutely.
Because nothing in society matters anymore. The value of money become very little to you. The value of vanity become very little to you. You know what I mean? And that's a big threat to this system that is driven by economics. You know what I mean? So yeah. Rastafari people, man, we come a far way and we're fighting this fight, and it's kind of sad that we fight this fight in Jamaica, in our homeland, when this is the treasure of Jamaica, because it's very hypocritical, because the government, Jamaica's biggest export right now is tourism. Mm-hmm. You know, so the government uses our image, uses the reggae music to bring tourists to come to their country, but then there's nothing set up to preserve this culture and preserve this is like a national treasure, like you're talking about.
Absolutely.
People who influence the entire earth in a positive, conscious way. You know what I mean? Like Like look at we're talking about great ones like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Dennis Brown, like all of these great names that people love and adore and look up to their way of life and the way they think. Like, so it's kind of hypocritical, you know. So we're raising the awareness now, and we the youth, we're getting platforms like being on stage right here. You know, this platform was birthed from being on stage at a sold out concert at Avila Beach. You know what I mean? So when we get platforms like this, we have to use it to make sure we tell the people what's going on, because when the people know, then will stand with us. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was greatly appreciated, man. That's wow.
Yeah.
I learned a lot right there.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. Yeah.
But the film though, Justice, like
no,
you're gonna get a bit more background on it. Like we have context, and it's that's why we created that piece of art. You know, we dropped it like a week ago, and it was like, I feel like art, reggae music has always been oral history. Like what's going on, you know what I mean? The voice of the voiceless. That's what reggae music has always been about, like talking about things that sometimes even get a little political, you know what I mean? So you know, the government tried to sweep this history underneath the carpet, you know what I mean? But we are here to reveal it, you know, and that was one of those films that was about that, like making sure that, okay, at least my generation, the people who follow my music and listen to my music, they know about this now.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? You know, and you can't wipe away a melody as easy as you can wipe away documents. When a melody is engraved in somebody's heart, they'll never forget that. Absolutely. So that's why we made a song and a whole film about it, because now that's there forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch it, and then I'll make sure to like share that when we share your interview, this whole interview. I'll make sure to put that in the wording for people to go watch that. Absolutely.
I really like how you said it's about being your true self, because I feel like sometimes, and me especially, like we're always so caught up in trying to be somebody that we're not because of what other people think and because of what, you know, higher ups say. So that's like, it's really inspirational.
Yeah, bro. You know, it's tough to be yourself nowadays, you know, because anytime you have an opinion that is uncommon, it's like you get cancelled nowadays. The word they want to use, you know, it's like we're not allowed to even talk. Yeah. Like you can't even have an opinion. So it's like, if you not think, everybody's scared to have their own opinion and live like them true self. You know, it's kind of sad, like for say the pressures that they put on us and the restrictions that that we even give ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. There's so much going on right now too, especially, and if you have any differing opinions from somebody, it is you're the worst person. It's like, man,
it's not how it should be.
The truth will always be on a fence, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
True that. Well, so I'm excited to know. So you created this band, you said, from people that you met in college. Kind of talk to us about how that started, how that happened. Was it just a common love for music? You know, kind of when did...
So my band is actually a band I knew from a long time, like from Jamaica, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, musicians I knew are friends of musicians that we knew. So I actually met T, like the people that, like the core group or the youths them that really is like thinking about this every single day, you know what I mean? And then my musicians know that was just out of pure luck in Jamaica. Just like, I don't know, there's something that happens when you make a decision and like to do something, like everything just align itself naturally. You know what I mean? I don't even have to plan my rollout plan anymore for songs. I don't even have to do that no more, because everything, once you make the decision, everything just happen naturally. You know what I mean? So like, I met my bass player through another bass player, and then I told him like, yo, ready, you know, I want to take this music to the world now, you know what I mean? And we built the band, and we've been playing together now for like 7-8 years.
Wow.
The same, you know what I mean? So we have a very tight sound right now, a sound that very unique, you know?
Absolutely. Like I was saying, it's very unique. All right. So obviously you are touring with Rebelution right now. Has there been a moment where you kind of just had to like pinch yourself and be like, holy shit, this is really happening. Like I'm doing what I've always wanted to do.
Yo, I'm not even going to lie. Like, there was this one show. Where was this show, man? I'm trying to remember. One of these shows that we performed later than usual, and we performed under the lights.
Oh, okay.
And then everybody took out their phone light. And I just remember looking out and just like, yo, this is crazy, you know, like, I remember even looking at all my musicians' faces, you know, and we're just like, you could tell everybody was in that moment, like, in a very reflective space, like, yo, this crazy that, you know, you make a decision and you follow through with it, and the melody really take us here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So speaking of playing under the lights, I gotta say that. So I've been to Rebelution probably, I don't know, I think that was my 4th time. Dude, that fucking light show at Avila was off the hook, man. It was like, it was going all over. I remember me and my wife were just like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen, man.
It's doing great things for reggae music, you know, and just like bringing it, just the experience is just like whether you like it or not, you have to love it.
Yeah.
You know, because the experience just feels so good, yo. Like, you just with your family, the lights, your music playing, music from all around the world. You have Rebelution bringing their people. You have we bringing our people. It's just like, it's such a great vibration. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, we're happy. We're glad that Rebelution doing what they're doing and stuck to it, you know, because they're really doing some great stuff for reggae music in the US.
What is it like? I mean, because like you said, you when you played, the crowd was big, but when Rebelution came on, what did it look like from your angle? Because you were back kind of behind the stage. Seeing the crowd, because obviously we're looking up and we're seeing them play and all that. What was it like seeing the lights going off with that crowd?
Bro, it's just like you feel like you're in a godly place, bro, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, it feels profound, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, you have to understand, you know, when you're on that stage and you're looking at people, you know, like, you're talking about every single one of these people right now are hurting inside.
Mm-hmm.
Hurting, like, with the realities that they have to wake up with tomorrow morning. So, like, when you're in a space for like an hour where everybody just vibing and people smiling and them listening to music for that 4-hour period of them day, is just like, humanity is like, you're charged up.
Absolutely.
You know? Charged up. Yeah.
It's a nice escape, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like we've all missed, especially with all the craziness going on this last year. I know I missed it, going to concerts and doing stuff like that.
God. Yeah, Joe goes to like 6 concerts a year, so it was rough for him.
Yeah, I had a hard time.
All right, so we're almost done here. I just got a couple questions. What is next for Keznamdi and your group? What is kind of on the horizon for you?
Well, after we finish the Reb Tour, we finish the Reb Tour on October 2nd, and then we do some dates with Calibuds in Florida.
Okay.
You know, after that, and then we're basically just trying to close out the year because I need to finish the album. You know, like, I'm like halfway through with it right now. Like, I'm actually hearing a body of work for the first time. I've been working right here in this bus right here. Like, I have my setup and everything where I'm literally recording the musicians while driving and stuff. So, because I really want to, you know, get this done as soon as possible to get it out, you know. Because tomorrow never promised. So I'm just trying to, like, use the time that I have to get everything out of me, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Do you have like a dream venue that you would love to play at?
Bro, we did it at the Red Rocks the other day, man.
Really?
But it was a festival, so it was way bigger. It was like a special festival where we had Third World, we had Inner Circle, we had Michael Rose, myself, Keznamdi, you know what I mean? Rebelution was there too.
Yeah.
You know, so big festival, and we did 2 nights at the Red Rocks.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah,
so that was like, Like to be honest, that wasn't the first time that I performed there. That was my third time.
Okay.
Performed there with Zoo before, but every time I go there, I can't understand like the person who envisioned this.
Right.
Like, how did you bring this to reality? How did you just drive past a bunch of red rocks and you decided that you're going to create a whole town and a whole community and a whole venue in this town and this place? Yo, it's just like, those people are some great visionaries. You know, you have to give it to them. You know, so every time I go to that venue, I'm always at a offer words. You know.
Yeah.
All right. We always ask everyone, especially people who are from different parts of the world, what are your go-to dishes, like food?
Well, we call it the ital stew, as you can see right before.
I saw you chowing before.
So my ital stew. So ital in Jamaica means pure. It's even more pure than being vegan. It means no process, nothing. Everything that you look in the plate, it comes from the ground.
Okay.
So ital means clean. So in Jamaica we have a saying, ital is vital. You know, it's vital. Ital. So ital stew is this thing that we love to make. You know what I mean? And is a popular dish amongst the Rastafari community. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. And then last but not least, we ask all of our guests this. You have any recommendations for us to have on the podcast? Anybody that you could get in touch with or something?
I think Kelisa, as I was telling my sister, she's working on her full length LP right now.
Okay.
She's about to drop a lot of big things. Let me see now. You could check out this artist called Runkus, Runkus or Z. Right.
Okay.
You can check out an artist called Black Hero, BLVK. Black, and then Hero is H3 number 3 RO. Yeah,
okay.
He spells it very difficult.
He makes it.
And one more artist, Rasai. RAS and then I. And those are some special talent, young talent that nobody that not a lot of people know about right now, but I'm very excited to
Thank you.
to see what comes out of, because they're making some very good music right now. You know what I mean? So
how do I spell your sister's name?
Kelisa, Kelissa.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna look all of them up and hit them up, see if I can get them on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, bro. You definitely will.
Thank you,
But make
man.
sure you tell them that I sent you, though.
Oh, I
Yeah,
will. I will. I'll
definitely.
give you the plug.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Hey,
being on. We
Keznamdi.
appreciate it.
This was awesome, my guy.
All right. I respect, man. It's an honor. So next time I'm in your city, let's do an in-person interview, man. Let's coordinate it.
Please,
Absolutely.
I'll be looking up and see when you're going to be in the area, and I'll hit you up next time.
bro.
All right.
Anytime, bro. Let's link up again for sure and check in when we do some more things, you know?
Absolutely. Thank you very much,
All right.
man.
Love.
You have a good one.
Have a good one. Garage Gang out.